If you're watching this video, I can already take that as a sign that you're willing to do something and you're willing to break the cycle. Now, by the cycle, I just want to first iterate what I mean by that, because the cycle can mean a lot of things for quite a lot of people. Breaking the cycle. There's some things in your life right now that may be bothering you, that you may want to shake, that feels out of your control, that feels unbreakable. Because first, not only do you have to realize that, hey, maybe I have a problem, or maybe I have something I need to work on. You not only have to realize that, but you then have to figure out what exactly that problem is. Because sometimes we may think about things and it may not always be the correct answer. I always thought that something that was an issue for me was consistency, staying consistent, right? Like not working hard enough, being lazy, not persevering. And for the longest time, I was like, reaching out to people, like reaching out articles, searching articles, and looking at internet posts on how to be a more consistent person. And I realized, wait, consistency is not my issue. My issue is actually commitment, which are two very different things. Struggling to commit to something just because I'm scared of starting something new. Like I always love starting new things, and like I never want to be chained down to just like one hobby. And I realized like that was an issue for me. So for you, it may be a similar case where you may feel as if you're in a cycle of these self-destructive habits that are slowly eating away and chipping away at your mind, which may very well be the case, and may very well feel as if like you're in this dark place where you can't get out of, right? You're stuck. But once you start to figure out what the issue is, then you can figure out the correct tools to use, right? Like, can you break at a wall with like a fork, a plastic fork? That's not the correct tool for chipping away at a wall, but I mean, it is the correct tool for eating some good food. I know, so maybe you have to find the right tools to use. Like, okay, this is the issue that I'm dealing with. Let me do some self-discovery. And slowly, you will start chipping away. But again, that may not always be the correct answer, right? So you may address the issue. Boom, you got one thing there. But then how do you get rid of it? That's like the hardest part for a lot of us. It's like, how do I get rid of this thing that's been eating away at me for years? And I feel like it's gonna just be there forever. This is another rough one, and honestly the answer to this and to a lot of things is to do a little more digging, a little more self-reflection, a little more thinking, a little more healing, right? A really good way to do this is meditating. I know everybody's like, why are you meditating? Like, what's the point? Like, I'm just sitting in silence or listening to music. Like, isn't that just wasting time? Some people meditate for up to 3 hours a day. Some people meditate for 8 hours a day if that's their profession, like, monks. Regular people, a lot of us meditate for under an hour. Some people for up to 2 hours, especially depending on how much time you have. But meditating is actually so much more important than you think. It's kind of like being in a state of sleeping, but not actually sleeping, being there, being present, and just feeling the room around you. It connects you not only with yourself, but with nature and your environment. And it allows you to then understand if the environment may also be a factor, Do you feel connected to this environment when you're meditating in it? Or does it make you feel like you're chained? That's another important thing. Another really important thing that has always helped me growing up and still today is writing and journaling. I think everybody should journal. I don't think you realize how important it is to journal, because humans, since the beginning of time and history, have always had this fixation, I'll say, this hyper fixation on documenting ourselves. And journaling doesn't have to just be a way for you to be, remembered by the people that may find the journal years from now. It's a way for you to remember who you are. And so many times I look back in my old journal entries from 6, 8, 10 years ago, and it's such an enlightening experience, because I just think, wow, I've come so far as a person. Every time I'm ready to give up, and I'm ready to just give in, and I'm ready to just stop going. Sometimes I'm like, wait, let me just look at this journal entry. And I read it, and I see all the pain I was in, or I see how happy I was at some points, or I find a moment where I learned something new. And that just, it makes me feel so good knowing that I am still me, right? That's something we forget, because we end up putting so much time into the things around us, or jobs, or our social life, or relationships, material things, that we oftentimes forget who we are, and like what we are, which is people. So journaling is so important. Everybody should do it, even if, again, just a sentence a day is enough to truly save your life. It's so important. If you want to take this a step further, you can even, this is something I did a while back, you can write down things, negative thoughts, right? Put them on like an index card or something disposable. Write them down. And then when you're finally ready to let that feeling go, or let that thing go, when you finally feel as if you've moved on from that, you get that paper, throw it in the river. It's compostable. It's going to break down and back into the world. You can burn it. I mean, that's a fun way to to really, again, like, burn bridges with the parts of yourself that you don't align with anymore. It can be really, 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 really helpful. So journaling, meditating, these are really just important ways to get back on track. Now, here's a big topic that people talk about, and this is friend groups, right? Like being with the right people, or being the right person, or finding groups that help you build yourself, which is great. But oftentimes, we end up getting stuck in this mindset where it's like, oh, I'm too good for these people, or oh, I'm not good enough for these people, and sometimes we take the idea of being in the perfect social triangle and pyramid so far that we're like, okay, they're not good enough, I'm dropping them. And maybe those were some really important support beams for you. And yes, if they are dragging you into negative habits and things that you no longer want to do, I'm not saying that you should continue talking with those people. But ultimately, you want to be the person, if, let's say, somebody, it feels as if they're staying stagnant and you're going up there, yes, eventually you will want to surround yourself with people that are also going on an uphill climb. But you may also, just for a little bit, want to maybe be the person to give them a push. All right? And I'm not saying you should dedicate all of your time to this, but sometimes somebody just needs like a little push, not even a push, a nudge into the right direction. And that may change their life and yours. And you may both end up going up. Now, it's a different thing if you decide to try to help this person and they don't take it. They just keep dragging you down. They keep sucking your energy. If that's the case, then you should drop them. And making new friends. This is another hard one, because everybody's like network for everything nowadays, right? Because that's kind of the way the world works. And honestly, networking, yes, while it is very important, it can be useless if not done correctly. You can know about 100 people that do something in your career, your field, But if you did not develop an actual connection with that person, I mean, likely it's not really going to affect the trajectory of your life, right? Like if you, like, let's say you're a writer and you know this writer that has like 1 million followers. Again, if you're not really in their inner group, they're not really going to find the time for you, and that's just kind of the way it is, right? So at the end of the day, ultimately, you know, if you want to break the cycle again, bringing back the topic, is you have to find a group of people that align with you and your moral compass, that align with you, the person you want to be, and that remind you again what it means to be yourself. And yeah, I mean, with that being said, those are 3 ways that I think you can break the cycle. I mean, this is a very touchy topic, and I'm willing to make more videos on this, but if you did enjoy it, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope you, again, I hope this helped you, and if it did, yeah, leave a subscribe, a like, maybe even comment something that you thought about the video, whether it's positive or negative. And yeah, thank you.